It's a very collaborative piece, working with Deborah Shaw from HRP and Mira Calix, who's doing the sound, Phil Supple lights, Mike, who's doing the flames themselves, bringing that team together, having discussions. And I guess I began with the shape of the installation that we did before and have kind of explored that quite closely. Flame has always been very evocative when used, and for me there's something of just that ephemeral nature of it, really, the fact that it makes it more of a performance that sort of happens for that one moment and you have to be there to see it.
So the challenge was to find the right torch, we call it, which is like a bit like a candle but doesn't blow out so easily and doesn't work off a solid wax. And we had to find something that burnt really cleanly and would burn for 4 hours and was the least risk to people who were going to be surrounded by them. So we looked around and eventually we found a small company in North Spain making these, and they'd been developed by French chemists, and it fitted our bill perfectly.
Flame is really interesting because it has two different meanings. It's part of the destruction. It's a destructive thing, but then it's also symbolises hope and the human spirit. For the first time, allowing people down into the moat, so they can witness the flames being lit and the sort of vista of the flames at low level as well as at height. But also to add in a piece by Mira Calix, the sound artist.
This piece is very romantic. It's very much an ode rather than a requiem. I wanted to give voice to the people who are involved in war, what is often called the war effort, but who are not on the battlefield. And I remembered this poet called Mary Borden, and I alighted on this sonnet, which is one of 10 sonnets to a soldier. I fragment or divide the poem or the lyrics into these languages. So that means the French, the Russian, the German, the Bavarian, and we just get little snippets of that.
Lighted, look for me, lighted, look for me, look for me.
And it exists between these two walls, the inner and outer wall of the moat. And we walk through it, and sound is very ephemeral, a bit like the flame in that it's responding. Everything is moving.
I'm taking care of the 80 lighting volunteers and their flow within the installation, how they light, how they respond to Tom's design, making sure that's elegant, beautiful and safe. And then I'm also, the second half of my job is that I'm dealing with our 40 T7 performers. These are the people who wear Mira Calix's sound design, and they move around the moat, so I'm choreographing their movements as well. So some people in the audience might want more from us as movers, and some people might want less. And so I want it to be really responsive and in the moment. And I want it to be really quite simple in a way, something that is really beautiful and you almost don't notice.
So my job with the lighting design is to create a context for the work, almost a backdrop that gives us the tower as a recognisable architecture behind the flame artwork, and gives us an emotional context also. It's about individual light sources, if you like, their relationship to other light sources and all of those individual stories, but also seeing how that can grow and develop to form a wider, more collective action that is about people coming together to remember.
It means to me as a Chief Yeoman Warder to be a great honour to be at the centre of this installation. There's a form of excitement between the 37 Yeoman Warders, the fact that they've been asked to be part of this installation and commemorate the sacrifice of all the soldiers, not only from Britain but the Commonwealth.
I think when I did the original installation, I was very struck by the kind of involvement of the whole of the Tower of London community. I mean, it is a real community of people who live here. And actually working with the Yeoman Warders has always been sort of, a real privilege to sort of their commitment to it. And I hope in a sense that this is giving back a bit to the tower. And there's multiple meanings in it, so people can take whatever they want to out of it, whether they want to see it as representing the souls of the people who died, or whether it's about light in the darkness, which for me, is beyond the deepening shadows, that after the First World War, we need to bring light. And I guess in our current situation in the world, it's really important to contemplate now about how we keep peace.